Hello.
Morning, morning, Nancy Jean.
Good morning, Scott.
Happy Sunday coffee. Oof, little
Feeling stiff?
little stinger in my back all of a sudden. Ugh, what the heck?
Ooh, not good.
Anyway, good morning, Linda, Debbie, everyone, on this happy Sunday. Grab your coffee and let's get into some intuitive reads.
Mhm. For entertainment purposes only.
Like everyone else says, yes, we're just
Mhm.
reading. We're just reading energy, getting our little hits going on.
Mhm.
Oh, Jeffrey, come on right away. He's always got some interesting ones.
Oh, nothing like a little apocalypse in the morning.
I'm guessing 45 had put a little grounds in his morning coffee instead of peer brew.
My quick read on this is he was downwinds from the fumes of that train.
Pretty much. But hasn't that been his whole theme?
Well,
If he gets
I'm going to
indicted,
die.
World War
Everybody
III.
dies.
He's always been saying, if I get indicted, basically, World War III is going to happen. I know, right, Karen? 45 knows he's going down soon. Take to the streets. Proud Boys, stand back, stand by.
Mhm.
What a fool.
Well, he has no regard for what happens to any of the rest of us. So,
Cough, 4:30 p.m. and in Belgium. Oh, sweet. Welcome.
what? What?
And in Belgium.
Oh, okay.
Across the world. Lovely. Hello.
Mhm. It's a bright, sunny Sunday afternoon over there now.
Werewolf Girl Oracle. Downward from the fumes. That was a good one, Nancy.
Well, I hate to say it, but it's my cards say yes, and
Yes, well,
I think it's his own delusions. I think he's looking at his friend in Russia and thinks he'll blow everything up before he'll let it go. I got it's a new enterprise for him to speak about. People will walk away from this, but it comes from official sources that he thinks he's in contact with. And this shows it's going to wait for a while. And I don't think it ever really happens. My about card is a no. But yeah, he's heard something.
is there something he knows
Mm-hmm.
that World War III is coming? It's not the sense I get from my cards. Well, it's more talking about his own mental state.
Maybe he's seeing his own apocalypse.
Yeah, I think it's his own a pop. I can't even say the word.
Apocalypse.
Yes, that word.
That word.
Hello, tongue. Good morning, tongue.
It's early yet.
Um, he's sensing danger coming, and it's like he's because I got the King of Coins coming up for him. That's my card for him.
Mm-hmm.
So I have my patience. There's danger coming him, and the Ten of
Mm-hmm.
Swords upon him. So that's all about him being depressed, his
Mm-hmm.
anxieties, having nightmares about what's upon him. His energy is in very dark times.
Mm-hmm.
So I got dark times, his energy, and then everything's coming out in the news and what he knows is coming.
Yeah.
He's, I have sickness upon him too. I think it feels like he's got some prayers going on. Please
You know,
don't let this happen.
he's got something hitting into the center of him. And he's sitting around crying over spilt milk still. Yeah, I think he knows something that we know, even though that's not that dire. He's projecting it across everyone because Of course, if it happens to him, it happens to everyone, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
I am not going to stay up at night waiting for the sirens.
Yes. There's nothing really here shows me about war. My final cards were about the investigations. He's in dire straits with money, and he's just, how do I get out of this kind of
What has
feeling?
he done with the $500 million he's gotten from selling the lie?
I know, right? He, get- you're only supposed to use it
To campaign. I know.
your campaign, but
I know all
but
about it. I fill out
he
those.
can steal that. He can steal that money to go to Ohio. That's technically legal because it's a campaign thing. He can write it off as a campaign. He can fill up his plane, bring out 13-year-old Trump water. Buy
God,
MAGA.
they'd be better off going down and drinking out of the river. Those are the old plastic bottles with the PBA. Was that stuff that was in them that made us all sick?
Oh, yeah, they're talking about
Poly somethings.
plastic pieces or whatnot getting in the water.
Mhm.
And whatnot. But yeah, I think we talked about that. But he supposedly filings found at least $10 million were paid to his lawyers out of that pack.
Mhm. But I thought the RNC was covering a lot of his lawyer costs.
At first they were, until they seen how much it was. The only thing I've seen there was maybe I think 250,000 was given
Really?
at first for that, but then I think it stopped. Like, no, we're not paying for your crap. Probably it stopped after the horrible election in 2022 for MAGA.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. Thank you for the question, Jeffrey. Okay. What's up with Tucker Carlson?
Oh, God.
I think I read on this earlier, but I did on other shows, but it feels like, albeit.
He's supposed to be starting the shows on it next week.
Oh, really? I didn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Albeit a bad move for McCarthy, but it didn't feel like it was technically illegal for him to do that as House Speaker, but it's causing some problems for him. So anyway, DOJ, what's gonna go on? I know there's been letters sent, I heard, from the Democratic side for security reasons, even the Capitol Police, I think. Okay.
I got no. They're not going to stop him from releasing it. They don't like it, but they don't have any laws that allow them to change it. Tucker's people are going to try to create illusion and delusion. They're not going to be very successful. It's going to be helpful because other news agencies are going to get it. But this shows he's going to start doing them and then find out they're not such good things and stop. What I worry about it more in this is the AI aspects of what they could do with the video. They want to say there are FBI agents there and all this stuff to start taking things and sticking stuff in that wasn't really there.
Right.
That's why they need to get it over to more people.
I'm getting similar to what I got. I think it was on Tuesday. We read on it, but Smarter Minds, I think it feels like they have sent a letter or a notice that whoever has information on this better be careful because there is sensitive things in those videos. So I got the King of Swords, the Knight of Coins, the Knight of Swords. So that this feels like Knight of Coins could be some kind of letter or information, from DOJ about sensitive areas and protection with that Knight of Swords, within the security parameters of the Capitol and whatnot. I do have the heartbreak of it all. Knight of Cups, 10 of Coins. So it feels like that information could have ramifications.
Mm-hmm.
And then here's a letter or some kind of notification to whoever has access that you better be careful. Because it feels legal, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they put out information, showing that accidentally show, escape routes, cameras, all that stuff, that there could be some legal ramifications. So I'm not saying like Tucker will
Not use it.
It'll just pick and choose, but like they were saying, it would take till June to get through it all for all the amount of video footage. That's working 12 hours a day with multiple people. It's like 40,000 hours of video.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you can't get through all that. But it's pretty irresponsible of McCarthy to do something like that. But I think there's protections there, but nothing legal yet, because it felt like McCarthy had the right, albeit not smart.
Oh, I asked, will Tucker get in trouble for what he does with the footage?
Ooh.
Well, and I got, yes, there are people in authority who are not happy at all. And they're going to tell him what can happen to him. It's going to be his choice.
Yeah, I was seeing
that. This is an evil leader, and they're not dealing from their highest intent. They're dealing with the high priestess. But look where they end up. In prison.
Ooh. Ooh, that is a lot. And Karen's saying they're hiring a new Capitol architect. Yeah, I think I did read the one got fired.
He got fired for misusing property.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Trump appointee who was ripping off his office.
Me. That was an ignorant move by McCarthy. Yes, of course. Handpicked 3 minutes out of 44 hours. It's like, that's quite a bit. Oh, good morning, Linda. I think someone had another question up here, and I missed it.
Yeah, it was
it Buckley is trouble after being.
It's Tucker. Dorian McDonald about the 12 states suing the FDA.
Did I star that? Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I did star that. No, I meant this one, I think.
Oh, okay.
I seen a question mark. Tucker's son, he was in footage at the January 6th. Interesting. Okay.
You know who Buckley Carlson's named after?
No.
William F. Buckley.
Oh, that's right. That's where I heard that name.
And he was a real snot. They put him in the mailroom at Fox, and he pissed everybody off. And then they finally put him in a room all by himself, and then he didn't like that because he wasn't part of the flow.
I remember Michael Cohen said he advised one of those, I don't know if it was Tucker's or someone's son, he advised on some legal issues, I guess. I don't know if it was Buckley or if it was Hannity's son. There's some son involved. I can't remember which.
Mm-hmm. I have no idea. I have no idea who these people are. I'll see if he's in trouble.
But that supposedly Tucker's son was at the January 6th rallies or something. According to
he might have been in that tent outside. You know, the thing Trump had where his daughter was at it.
Oh, yeah, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
Neil's hopeless, so angry. Oh, my God. Debbie's friend still can't accept the truth. Just send Neil love and light to see the truth. You say, I'm not going to be your friend until you see the light.
I don't see that he was at the January 6th stuff. I got
Yeah.
a no.
Yeah, I mean, my senses are not like, boom, yeah, bad dude. I mean, he feels kind of lost to me. But, you know, he's got daddy's money.
He's got grandpa's chicken money. Sort of regret all those Swanson dinners I ate.
I got a lot of cups, kind of like mom and dad, and the hermit, something kind of foolish. He made a mistake, but page of cups. There's offers. Kind of a free spirit. Six of swords. He may have been in the area, but he moved away.
Mm-hmm.
The six of swords, but I got all good cards. Not like, you know, if I would have got a lot of swords or something, it'd feel like, oh, he was right up in there. But
No, I got what I had. The biggest one for me was transition, which is change, which is death. He got close to it. He thought about it, and he didn't go.
yeah, that's what it feels like with, you know, six of swords, all
Mm-hmm.
kinds of protection. You know, maybe mom and dad or Tucker said, don't go there. They know it was going down. That kind of feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Morning, Kathy D. Not part of the Swanson family. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, Debbie, about your friend, but I've left MAGA friends do their own thing. I had one of my friends that I played softball with years ago. He's got family, bunch of kids. He does brickwork. Was a great guy, but oh my God, he's full blown MAGA, posting on his social media like crazy. I had to block him.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't spoke to him in years. His father married in when he was 9, and then his mother abandoned him. Okay. But I mean, I'm just seeing protection.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether it's his mother or whatever, but it was showing a king of queens, so that's protection. Okay. Starring quick. Okay. Have the maggots realized that 45 has no power to protect them? Most of them. I mean, we've seen that the latest Proud Boy seditious trial, they're trying to subpoena him.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. There's still too much worship there. Even the Georgia grand jury lady was like, "Oh, that'd be such an honor to Sarah and Donald Trump." She seemed all giddy about criminals.
It's because she doesn't recognize them as criminals. And it's the celebrity, it's the People magazine factor about talking about stuff.
So anyway, if anyone's concerned, that judge in the case that was overseeing it came out and stated that that floor person did nothing wrong by speaking.
That's right.
It's in Georgia law, so I know there's been a lot of questions around the block. Is 45 going to be not indicted because of, no big deal. It's in the law. It was okay for her to speak.
Well, it shocked me because I've been a foreman of a grand jury.
Ooh.
And if we get told we can't speak at all about any of it, not even. And one time, like, I went out to lunch after we've been doing some stuff at the courthouse, and one of the women started talking about a case, and the whole table looked at her and just said, "Shut up." You're not supposed to talk outside the.
Yeah. But I think it relates to the fact that this was a special grand jury, a fact finding. So it's totally different than
And they're
a
not
real.
they
And
didn't indict him. They suggested indictments, but they didn't sign off on the indictments. But it's just a peculiar twist of Georgia law. It's like you have to, if there's 3 candidates in a race, you have to win by 50%.
yeah,
And
it is a little.
they did that so they could muck up other people's chances of pulling the numbers.
Okay. So I tossed cards on this about the MAGAs
I did too.
and the no
And it's,
power.
yeah,
So,
they understand. They
so
realize. Yeah,
well,
I got to realize.
generally,
Hmm?
so what I sense of this whole thing is like it's like many people have talked about, and we would talk about. They drank the Kool-Aid,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of thing. They're This feels like they were drunk on the power. It's kind of like
Mm-hmm.
the devil, the protection, and the Queen of Coins. And that's what I'm getting from those three is like they were worshiping someone, worshiping the devil, you know. They drank the Kool-Aid. They thought it was the right thing and all that, but everyone everyone has their own tower moment coming.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're going to realize 5 of coins is the oh crap moment, loss of structure. They're going to come to some realization. It's a slow moving realization, but it takes a tower moment to actually realize that they were wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, even during COVID, their family members would pass away from coronavirus, and they still worshipped him.
Right. Well,
It's a personal tower moment that it hits everyone at a certain time.
what I got was they thought that they had it all built, that it was all structured, and they were going where it's supposed to, because they were following a small childish messenger who was feeding them the wrong information. Their middle card, which is the most important, was change. Just those who have seen the light have seen the light. Now they're trying to do what their lawyers are telling them to do, but it's just a wholly bad organization. There's nothing there. They can't organize anything. They just were delusional. You know, the president's saying our name on a debate speech and we're going to go do whatever he says.
I know, right, Renee? Rock bottom is different for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, a personal reading example. Let's say someone was gambling, addicted to like slots, know they have a problem but can't stop, you know, so they'll use their credit card,
Mm-hmm.
use whatever they can, just keep running up credit card, whatever, just to play. Think they're gonna hit the thing, but still can't have that tower moment yet. But then all of a sudden, it hits the love of their life.
Mm-hmm.
You have to stop, otherwise I'm leaving you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're coming up in a tower moment, but still don't want to quit. Well,
Mm-hmm.
then all your money gets shut down. You lost the love of your life. That's when it finally hits you, when you're alone and have no money.
Mm-hmm.
That's some people's tower moment. Other people's tower moments are coming to realization, I'm ruining my life. I have to stop. And with love and support, they quit. Right? Some
Yeah.
people's tower moments are a car accident instead of a fender bender. That's the
Well,
way it is.
I had a woman friend who ended up going to AA. And the reason she went to AA was she started having a glass of Chablis every night by her bed when she was going to sleep. And one night she was driving home from a meeting and she was in a really sketchy part of the city and she realized she had no wine at home. So she freaked out, stopped at a 7-Eleven, what we call stop and rob, one of those, one of the ones you don't want to really stop at. Doesn't even have 7-Eleven on the top anymore. She gets out, she runs in, she buys it, and she walks out and she realizes she's put herself in extreme danger. I mean, there are people on the edge of that parking lot that she didn't know who they are. She didn't even know where she is. She gets back in the car, gets home, looks at the bottle, and remembers an article she'd read from Ann Landers. If you put yourself in danger to get something, you need to evaluate whether it's worth it. And so she was looking around. She went to AA meetings, and she used to get chided because most of them said, I've spilt more booze than you've drunk. But she hung in there, and she got over her needing to have that Chablis every night. But, she stopped at a point most of the people in that room couldn't have imagined stopping. But she did.
Wonderful. Yeah, it takes some incredible faith and, realizations like, oh my God, what did I do?
Yeah. And you have to look from the inside out. You have to decide inside what you want to do. And that's what this big change is that's coming. The planets are lining up for us to deal more with ourselves from the inside out than worrying about what the outside world thinks of us. Facing our own things. So
yeah,
anyway.
every single person, dealing with anything has had to deal with these kinds of personal realizations, whether it's married, kids, or gambling, anything. And it's how we come out of it. It makes us a better and different person. I've been there. And I don't want to be in that place again.
Nope.
And luckily that was, oh God, when was that? 19 years ago.
Oh my goodness.
My biggest traumatic of my life. Going through divorce, and I was sports gambling.
Oh. Yeah.
Bad times. But I turned it all around. Okay.
Okay.
That's life.
Yeah, it's life, Mama. That's it.
Okay. What'd you mean? Something. The internet kind of went.
No, how will Buttigieg? Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
How the guys star that, Mimi? Oh, congratulations, Wolf Girl. She had her tower moment 4 years ago. Quit drinking. Never looked back. Woo woo. Hi, Cartomancy. Pete Buttigieg.
Oh God, does he come out great?
Yeah, I think he changed the minds there.
Right, he changed. He's got his sight on his goal. He's able to pull people together and get things done. He's making some very important decisions about the whole Ohio rail thing, and it was great because, quite honestly, Biden needed to be in Ukraine. He couldn't hang around Ohio right at that moment. He shows his extremely good judgment, and he's able to cast off all the negativity people try to cast around him. So he's coming out like a star.
Yeah, I'm actually seeing a lot of anger at the governor now, a little bit too.
Well, he admitted he didn't return their phone calls. What a jerk!
Yeah, nothing like lying to a bunch of people in distress. When you're going through something like that, people actually investigate and fact check what's going on. Your license. All right. Yeah, I got Peter Buttigieg coming out as the King of Wands, victorious with the 6 of Wands. He laid down a hammer with the investigating the rail company. The government there. I got the Justice card and 8 of Swords coming in first, so it feels like, the whole. It's like putting a balance to the situation there. It's like people were, in their own minds and, kind of locked up there, unfortunately. But new directions and earthly balance with the Page of Swords and the Queen of Coins. So yeah, I think Pete came out smelling good there. I mean, when you come in, oh, I love that man. He just talks so brilliantly and smooth, and
he speaks in terms people understand. He doesn't do smooth speak. He just says, look, this is the situation.
right. It's like he knows how to deal with people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm sure behind the scenes everyone gets upset, but in his moment to speak, he doesn't get upset. He doesn't throw BS. He just logically brings you through the situation. He's a brilliant guy.
Mm-hmm.
I just like him so much. So yeah, Pete did well there.
Yep.
Helped out people. Okay, we
Well,
did that
it
one.
doesn't hurt when the last Secretary of Transportation never went to any of the derailments, and there were thousands.
Yeah, there's been quite a few this year.
Yep.
There was a couple. I mean, even after in Ohio there, I can't remember where, but there was two others. After all this, I seen a video. I can't remember where this train system is, but they had to slow down to like 2 miles an hour because it's all like this in a certain area, all messed up, but they haven't fixed it. It's like, oh my lord. Okay. The FDA bill.
Oh yeah.
Going through the courts. I think we said it was in
It's in
Texas right
Texas.
now. The judge has to decide.
But he was supposed to decide 2 weeks ago. Something's going on because they've been on watch in this state because we know it's coming out of the state. It was 2 weeks ago that we're supposed to have a ruling. Then they said, oh, it's definitely be this last week. And he didn't, there's not a squeak out of that court. So I don't know what's going on. I mean, the cruelty to this, if you don't understand how these pills work, is there's Scott's found a funny.
Yeah, Christine.
There's two pills, and the one that they're trying to outlaw is the one that makes the whole procedure go more quickly and with severely lessens the pain, makes it not go away completely. So there'll still be an abortion pill you can buy, but if you take it, you're going to be in a lot of pain. I mean, that's to me is the cruelest thing of all. Either get rid of both of them or leave them alone. Because what they're saying is, oh, you can have a pill, but we're going to make sure you have to take the one that hurts. So
These people. Okay. Thanks, Nanette. I'll start that. No, Christine said the only thing they complained about with Buttigieg's visit was his shoes. They didn't like his shoes.
I know. Okay. There's something going on. There's a whole lot of disagreement in these cards. They thought they were running to a new space where they could control everything, but the gang's not all here. There's something going on. They're in the middle of stormy seas right now and making this decision. And the two cards at the end are a negative spiritual decision and then people just not getting along. So even if he tries to do it, I think it's going to get blocked somehow.
This is difficult. So I tried to get a visual of what's going on behind the scenes, and I think you're right. It feels like there's concern
Mm-hmm.
So I had the Moon, Queen of Cups, and Six of Swords. It kind of feels like he doesn't want to strike it all down. There could be some secret deals behind the scenes,
Yeah, I got
but
the Six of Swords.
it feels like with the Queen of Cups, it's like he doesn't want to, but he does. So it feels like in the end, because I kind of see like a part. So you have your order here or whatever, but there's a strike just right here.
Mm-hmm.
Like he does something partially to be a scapegoat. Like I didn't do this, but I feel this is right, and it feels like it's kicked up higher or kicked to the
Mm-hmm.
government. In the end, I have the Hierophant, Ace of Cups, and my severe loss card. Things are broken. There's some karma involved, so it's like it's kicked back to the government or a higher court, but it turns
Mm-hmm.
out well. So like you can't hurt people when this is legal by the government, but it turns out right. But it feels like there's a strike or something. It's like something's this is fine, but you can't do this. It just oh,
Well,
bless
it's
you, Rita. So I have the Wheel of Fortune, Knight of Coins, and Queen of Coins too. It feels this is about fertility and health, but here's your strike. But if he does too much others, there's going to be a cycle of karma coming around. So I don't think he completely blows it up. You know what I mean? It just feels like there's
I think he tries, but I think it's because a part of it is they wanted to say that the FDA said it could be sent through the mail,
right.
even at pharmacists. And I think then they're trying to get into this may be part of Marjorie Taylor Greene's, we're going to get all divorced, you know, um, that if you, it's impossible to really regulate what goes through the mail unless, it's a substance that's known to be illegal. And this isn't illegal. It's just they don't want it to go through the mail. They don't think the FDA should allow it to be sent into states where the states don't allow it. But that sort of blows up the whole network of federalism. So, I mean, it's a fool's mission as far as I'm concerned. Except their whole reason for doing it is to seem big and cruel, and that they do.
Uh, who charged for sedition? Rose Blue. Missing who? This woman, no less. Oh, Linda sent a Facebook message. Oh, I did see Jeb's endorsing to Satan. Yeah. Okay, sorry, I missed who, what, where, and why. Okay, moving on. Little Jack news. The Howler Monkey, MTG. Praise my guides, but eventually I seen her in handcuffs.
Okay, I'm going to put
So
them out separately. I'm going to read a line for Jared and a line for Ivanka. The morning after pill is the same pills that they're talking about here, Earth Mama. That they call it the abortion pill. We call
yeah,
it the morning after pill.
it basically stops fertilization, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
You can be
Yeah,
Ivanka dealing with
different
Jack.
deck for that. Okay. Jared and Jared.
Wow.
Jared.
Okay, I got Jared gets caught, Ivanka escapes. Jared's going to fight it with, the best he can with these swords. There's all sorts of stuff that's secrecy around Jared. He don't want to go near any of this stuff. But because it's going to bring an end to Jared's business stuff. And this is what he's most concerned about. Is his money, and that it's going to be an entree into where some of the money came from if they can ever get him in court. And I see that he's really afraid of Jack Smith. Jack Smith, the King of Pentacles, is my Jack Smith card. Unless you're one of the people who don't want to talk to him, then he's reversed. For Ivanka, she came to terms a long time ago that this was going to come. So what she's been doing is training herself on how the best way to defend herself. But what terrifies her is she doesn't know what other people have said. So she doesn't know exactly what to do. But her attitude towards it is going to make her stronger in the end. And she's going to escape. She's not going to have to pay a price for it.
But yeah, I've always felt Ivanka flipping, saving herself, whatever it takes.
But that's Jared.
Oh, God.
10 of Swords.
I always seem to drop cards.
I hate that.
Anyway, there's investigations I'm getting. I'm shuffling it, sensing for Ivanka, but Jared's in trouble.
Thank you, Linda. I finally got to
the Wheel of Fortune. I got the Wheel of Fortune, Temperance, and the Sword of Truth coming at him. The Fire of Truth is coming at him. The Two of Wands, he's trying to figure ways out, but this Two of Wands has one arm's tied and one leg is tied. Right? So he's stuck. There's nothing he can do about it. So I have the Delusions. That one, Arcana maybe.
Oh yeah, okay. And that Arcana, that looks like what they would have in those. Okay.
In a limited space, I can do my full spread. They're easy, smaller. The Seven of Cups and Page of Swords. He's going to try to weasel out what he can, but this Page of Swords is always like feeling like there's investigations upon him for other things. This is January 6th stuff, so I don't think I sense like Jack's directive isn't to look at the Saudi money, That's gotta be elsewhere, you'd think. If he finds something, it's got to go elsewhere, that kind of thing. So anyway, Ivanka. I was sensing Ivanka, and then my cards flew away. But every time I've thrown on this, it's like she's in self-preservation mode. I'll do what it takes to save myself. The Devil's on her mind. Embattled. High Priestess. There are some bad cards here, in a sense, because but the Devil could also be chained to her own self-worth, not doing the right thing. Kind of a bad card throw today, but so Four of Swords, the Devil, and the Moon started out. Contemplation. How do I keep my money and my life together? The Moon could be a backdoor deal or something secret.
I had the Devil reversed. I had materialism reversed, which means she's trying to back out of some bad decisions she's made and change. her attitude about that.
But in the end, here I have that high priestess, so that feels like self-preservation. It does feel like Daddy's getting to her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't speak, that kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing. So there's a battle behind the scenes with that Five of Wands. The Five of Swords is next to the high priestess in the end here. So there's there's some fighting going on behind the scenes, but
Yeah.
in the end, I think it still feels like self-preservation to me. But I think Jared's in big trouble. I've always sensed that. Let's just go with that.
He's in more trouble than she is.
Jared flees, takes his billions. Yeah. Ivanka's hoping to take over the empire after everyone goes to prison.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel Ivanka is a con artist. Yeah, we can go that. It's not even a real voice when she speaks.
Oh God, I can't stand to listen to that woman speak. It's
She trained
disturbing of
herself.
her father.
She trained herself to speak like that. I do think she feels. Yeah, I think she has deep love for her children.
Mm-hmm.
We have Trump's phone tapes are catching obstruction. On what Apple?
I think she means 1-6.
Well, obstruction, they're only talking the documents case.
Okay.
Music to my ears. Jared's in trouble. Court testimonies. Oh, I mean about
People
trying to
talking.
obstruct justice to have them. Oh, okay. Obstructing justice for testimony. Okay.
That follows up on something that dear sweet little 30-year-old girl who should which journalists really ought to be shot for having interviewed. But I mean, I guess it's news. And she volunteered. But I've seen so many people like that show up at political campaigns and meet someone whose picture they've only seen, and that kind of awestruck look that she had. But I wonder, she said they had lots of phone calls around Georgia.
Yeah, can you imagine?
So there probably are lots of other people who taped. I don't think the phones were tapped by the police. I think Trump's own friends turned over their tapes and said, "See, it wasn't me. He just calls me up and talks like this. I didn't say yes."
So after the fact, you can imagine how many phone calls 45 or his helpers tried to obstruct testimony. I think that's where Apple's getting at.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like what they tried to do with Cassidy. For Georgia and whatnot. So do they have 45 on tape for obstructing testimony? That's where I'm going.
Mm. Yeah. I got the Wheel of Fortune flew that way. People who realized they were getting into sketchy water and they were playing like they were a friend, or he just called them and said, "I know you're my friend." And some of the worst is going to come from a woman who taped him.
Ooh.
And he gets the Three of Swords right through the heart at the end. And that's
I'm getting I do have woman energy, but if to me it feels like he used others. Like it was technically not. After all his perfect phone calls, to me it feels like he's using others. Because
Okay.
I have the Page of Cups coming out first. Knight of Wands is another younger person.
Mm-hmm.
Nine of Wands, he's defending himself. I do have the Wheel of Fortune coming out too. So that would be like, it's like changing your destiny next to Age of Cups. So Page of Cups feels to me like using younger energy. There is, like I said, the Empress is coming out here. That's next to that Empress, Knight of Cups, Knight of Wands. So there could be your Wheel of Fortune moment you're talking about with some woman taping. Heck, it could be Cassidy or someone else, whatever. But there is protection here around a woman that may have done.
Who was the brunette who left his office? She was his assistant, and then she left, and then she came back.
Oh, Hope.
Hope.
Okay.
Yeah.
8 of Wands. Page of Wands. More young energy.
Mm-hmm.
So he's using AIDS or something after the big mess. So it's probably these AIDS that got taped. If you want to clarify for me there, younger people tape, because
Okay.
I'm not really.
I'm going to see.
I'm not really sensing him.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's AIDS that got taped.
Okay.
For those others, protection. Okay, so I don't know. God, if she had any sense, she would have flew a long time ago.
Oh no, she came back for this very reason.
To be in.
They knew he was lying and that he was using other people. She was put in a place where she could balance and figure it out. This was her job. This was her goal. This is what she was there to do. She sold him out. He trusted her, and she saved all the messages.
They say she was a Trump whisperer.
I think the reason she came back. Remember what she said when the coup didn't work? She's reported to have said to someone, "We'll never get jobs again because we've been involved in this."
Yeah, I remember that. Yipper. Did you hear that story about the aide?
Mm-hmm.
That copied files.
Who went to college in Russia?
Yes, went to college in Russia. What kind of legal is she into?
Okay.
Only the best people. Woodland Spirit, man. What? Nancy Jean, the Mexican president, just announced this a lux, mischievous woodland spirit in Mylan folklore. What? Did you read that
An
one?
elemental. I'll have to go look it up, Scott, because I know the elementals, but I don't know them all. The Mexican president's a little bit nuts. I see she'll be charged or heavily looked at. People are going to be looking at her, but she's not going to go to prison. She didn't get any money for it, particularly. She just kind of took the papers and copied them over. She's willing to talk to the right people, and she's not going to walk off the cliff for anyone. So I don't think she's going to get charged. Because espionage would be giving them to someone else, not just putting them on a computer. I think. I don't know. I'm not a espionage kind of lawyer. I ran political campaigns, guys. They're strange enough.
Grateful 1509. Did Trump bury documents in the casket? I've never seen any documents in the casket.
No.
My take on it. I'm getting that woman was a fool here.
Mm-hmm.
She's heartbroken. She thought she was working for the big man. It was the great with the Six of Pentacles, creating something. 10 of Pentacles, Ace of Cups, the Devil, and the Tower. So to me, that feels like she's, will be threatened with something.
Yeah.
And then she's like, spills. I mean, she's young. She's got a life. I don't see nefarious things here. So yeah, then Two of Pentacles, sharing information. Yeah, then I have success in the end. So it's like she just flips and then Six of Swords, she calms everything down. So yeah, with that Tower and Devil there, they'll be asked like, she's got a lot of anxiety. There is worry here with the Nine of Swords next to that Tower. But I had the Ace of Cups. So it feels like they're going to be, giving her an offer. Oh, we got this on you. We could charge you with, data, whatever. I'm sure there's some kind of data law or something, but under the casket.
They're not going to dig her up.
I mean, you need a court order to dig a grave up, so.
Yep.
To me, it just looks like a vault or a frame for the casket to sit on. I don't see documents. They never show me documents or anything of value. So, and if you think about it, think of how many people would have to be bribed to get something in there. The casket diggers, the mortuary, to put everything together. I mean, like, it would cost millions upon millions just to get any documents in there. It's not like he can just wave his hand at the old Don, move. We're going to bring a shipload of stuff and put in the casket so we can bury. I don't see that happening. His golf course and his study in there too. Yeah, I could believe there could be something at his Bedminster. Yeah, but the casket, no, I don't believe it. Anywho, next we're at almost an hour. Okay.
Yeah, the Mexican president did post a picture of what looks like an elf.
Really?
And it's a woodland elf. It's a woodland elf from Mexico. And why not? Yeah.
Rabbit hole, grave hole. Oh, Nikki Fried is going to be the Florida Democratic chair.
Florida is a messed up state. In every direction you can find.
And Texas running a close second.
Oh no, we're in a foot race, and it's going to be a photo finish, guys, for who's the stupidest state. Let me tell you.
Okay.
Okay. Good morning. Did Mike Pence bring his family, knowing what was coming?
Wow. Interesting question.
He did not know that they were going to overtake the government, and they didn't start calling for his skin publicly till that meeting, that rally, or whatever the crap it was. But what the cards say is he was not part of those machinations. He wasn't part of the creation of that deal. The Tower moment was decided by others. They were lost words. You know who knew what might happen? His wife. And
Mother knew?
mother knew, mother sensed. And, and that's why he wouldn't get in the cars and go off with the other agents. He finally saw, because mother's the sneaky one, not him. So,
Mother rules the roost.
mother, trust me, that's the first thing you do when you interview a candidate. You talk to the candidate, then you talk to their significant other and see how well they're on board. There's a lot of people who want to run for office, but they don't check it out with their significant other. And if the significant other's not on board, you're never going to win your campaign.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I don't even need to throw any cards up for proof. As soon as you started reading, I'm like, you got this. Basically the same. It's like, I mean, if you think about the timelines, everything went down. He was getting pressured from Pence and Meadows and whatever. He was seeking Dan Quayle's advice. He was seeking Ludig's advice. And he came to realization that he had nothing to do with it. So it just feels like the ceremony of his family being there. I don't believe he knew the inner workings of the Proud Boys and everything, and that to that extent. Otherwise, he wouldn't have had his there.
It shows you how close he really was to Trump. They were just both using each other. And when Trump finally couldn't use him anymore, threw him under the bus. Plus, we used to always say when Pence was hanging out behind him, he always looked like he was comatose or in another place. Yeah. I think he astrally projected somewhere. He was never in the room with any of them. He had no idea who this man was. And he still won't allow himself the consciousness to know that. When you talk about people that live in a state of unconsciousness, just think of the state that man has to live in order to say, oh, well, I don't think it's all that bad. What a bunch of crap. Indiana, you can take your loser governor back anytime you want.
Missouri's not doing well. Who'd you say, Indiana?
Indiana can take Trent Pence back anytime they want.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, Missouri's on thin ice, too. They're not a great state here with their Republican leadership. I mean, half bad government is under investigation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Brian Belcher says Colin Powell chose not to run because of his wife. Wanted nothing to do with First Lady in the run.
Mm-hmm.
Significant other has a big part of it, yeah. Probably wanna. If the MAGA did get to Pence, would anyone notice except the flies? Kind of funny, but sad. It was not a good day in our history.
The whole thing wasn't a good day, but Pence put himself in the line of fire. So
yeah, it just feels like he was delusional about the whole thing, that it could get that bad.
Well, he was put there by Manafort, and he was put there by Manafort because Pence's brother made all of his money out of the Soviet Union breakup and being in Russia during that time that you could make money before the oligarchs took it back. So he's another connection to Russia as far as that goes.
Yeah, and that in his evangelical voice.
Oh, God, no.
Bring in that side of the crew. And then he blackmailed the Falwells to support him.
Mm-hmm.
Bring in that evangelicals.
The Falwells, which were so easy to blackmail. You just had to talk to the pool boy.
There you go.
You had everything you needed to know.
Quite the scam that they ran. Debbie thinks Murdoch didn't act alone.
We can ask that. I've watched nothing about that trial. I know nothing. But he looks like a complete asshole. Excuse me. For entertainment purposes only.
He hurt a lot of people. Stole a lot of money. He sure looks guilty.
Mm-hmm.
But the question is, will 12 jurors see he's guilty? I haven't watched it or heard. I just read a few clips.
Mm-hmm.
Right, that is it. It's going on in like 6 weeks or something. Debbie said 2 guns. Okay. Probably one. Every day I pray for Pence to have the rapture. Him and McCarthy are the same mold. They're both weak people. They don't stand up for anything. Murder trial. Guilty. With all 12. Lost the truth.
Shuffle. Shuffle. All of a sudden, my cards don't want to shuffle. I gotta go to a different deck.
I mean, my internal senses don't say he's guilty,
Mm-hmm.
but it feels like there's like 2 jurors. I'm sensing right now. I'm sensing 2 jurors think there's not enough evidence. The overall sense is that they believe he's guilty.
Mm-hmm.
But I have the moon here, sword of truth, this contemplation, the sword of truth, and the moon. The moon is a 10 card. So they're talking about deep thoughts, depression, some dark energy, but the 10 it feels like 10 of 12. I'm like, yeah, you're guilty.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like the burden of proof feeling. So I had Page of Wands, Page of Cups, and the jury. So like the 4 of Wands. So you're thinking, here's the jury here. So we got whistleblowers, offers, but there's something new coming in that could change their minds. In the end, I have the 8 of Swords, Ace of Coins, and 5 of Swords. So it's like there's evidence there.
Mm-hmm.
There's internal conflicts. The 8 of Swords is being locked up. So he may be locked up for something, but not others. I don't know. I guess it depends too if there's multiple, accusations there, charges, not just one. I mean, it's all tough to get, what's the actual outcome. There's multiple playing. You're talking about 12 jurors. It's not a slam dunk. But I do have a 8 of Swords here being locked up somehow. I mean, he's already shown he's a pariah to society now.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
I had a flash and I looked at it, and they've tried to buy jurors. They've tried to get to some of them financially. It hasn't worked.
Imagine.
But what I got is, would he be convicted? And I got the 10 of Swords reversed, which means to me even more of it. It's done. The Magician, because he thought he could kind of work his way out of it. And he be convicted. Yes, the Queen of Swords, protector of truth. Someone grows a conscience. Messenger of impulse and opportunity. And then which has come true. So I get that he gets convicted. I see they've really tried to find a way to get to jurors.
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah, the guys just aren't telling me. You know, boom, he's going to prison. His life is over, even if he does escape. With all the people he hurt and all the talk of what came out financially and whatnot. So he's in his own prison no matter what. It's unfortunate, but I hope your senses are better than mine. I'd like to see that man go to prison.
But still a decision that hasn't been made. And when people say, is this going to happen? Sometimes it's really hard because sometimes trails are so clear you can see them plainly. And sometimes they're under the moon. And it's a little sliver out there. But I think he's going to get it.
Yeah. I mean, it's even like trying to predict an election that's not written in stone when you're dealing with 3 to 4 million votes and minds and who's not going to make it today and who did make it today. I mean, sometimes you can tap into the stars or the akashic of that person and like that's their destiny. They will be governor or they will be president, you know. You know, it's like if you would per se tap into Beto's soul and his destiny, it's there. Like he's going to be in higher office somewhere at some point. And it's like the energy of him winning in Texas was so much greater than Abbott. But he fell short through manipulation, you know, suppression, whatever. And it's unfortunate. But his soul desire, it's like you can taste Beto being on this big stage helping people. It just hasn't yet.
There's a question in here about 1040 about gerrymandering and the Electoral College.
Susan Bames' pendulum is all over the place. All over the place. Looking something Pacific.
About 1040.
Okay. Pence. Sandy Sperry. Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
Good. Okay. I will, because I had a flash about this last night. You know how gerrymandering got ended in Michigan? There was a young woman in her 20s, and she read an article about how gerrymandering worked. And she got involved with some indivisible groups and some other groups, and they created a petition, and they got it on the state ballot to eliminate the legislature from picking the districts. And they set it up a different way. And because I think she's like 25 years old now, because of her work, Michigan has a governor, a legislature, and a judicial that's all Democratic, which reflects what that state is. And it was one person who said, I'm not putting up with this, who started the movement, who had no background in starting a movement. So what I'm telling you is look around you and see what you can do to start to make these things fair. Now, as I understand it, there's several other states right now that are running campaigns to get rid of the gerrymandering or to change it so it's not done by the legislature. You know, that'd be like you going to the trucking company and deciding you can hire your own boss, right? You know, yeah. It's not going to happen, right? And the other thing about the Electoral College, I have been against the Electoral College since I was in college. And and it would be so frustrating because people, it's not that bad. What's ever going to happen with it? Well, now we see what's happened with it. But do you want to see if the other campaigns are going to be successful about gerrymandering, or we're going to Ivanka's casket?
No, I'll go back to that again. Yeah, I want to read on it.
Okay.
I know I've seen other readers see something bright and shiny in the casket, and it took 10 people to haul it down the steps. So you'd think there's something in there, but
Not just an elderly woman's ashes, for sure.
not the ashes. Yeah. So, like I said, I asked my guy to show me if there's papers, and I didn't see any papers.
Mm-hmm.
But the casket doesn't feel empty. So maybe there's something special. Maybe it was in her will to put some treasures of hers in there. But could be gold bar, something. But they don't show me any papers. Could be some of Ivana's treasures. So, okay, back to Electoral College.
Okay. Do you want to read on gerrymandering or Electoral College?
So Electoral College would take 2/3 vote.
Right, take 2/3 votes in the states to get rid of it, and that's why I don't think that one's going to happen anytime soon. Although I've had a feeling it might be sooner rather than later. I think I'll live to see it. So at 73, they better hustle. But can we look at the gerrymandering, see if other states are going to be able to effectively get rid of the gerrymandering?
So yeah, there were, to go back to, we were talking earlier behind the scenes about the Wisconsin Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
And the energy is towards the liberal judge, Janet P. Her last name is long. So as it looks right now in April, she'll win, by like 58% to whatever, if that happens. So they can, and the conservative court up to the election slap down the maps.
Mm-hmm.
So if Janet wins, the court can look to the maps again, which would be a bonus because our governor vetoed those maps. But the Republicans took it to the Supreme Court of the state. They fought it all the way. And like you said with Michigan, as a whole in Wisconsin, generally by a little bit, votes Democratic. There was the Democratic coalition put together a slide bar, right? Of the voting for senators, governors, everything, as a whole. It's kind of like the United States. As a whole, they're like California and, New York. Generally vote more Democratic. But you have, like the Electoral College, all these rural areas all the way around that vote Republican that control the state.
Right.
So you have these big cities that are Democratic, and a lot of it is Republican voting. And it's kind of like the United States. That's where Wisconsin is. So if you get these maps more fair, so it's like in Milwaukee, they put all the Democrats in one area, right?
That's called packing. There's two ways you can gerrymander. One is to pack, where you put all of one party in certain districts so that they only have so many that they can possibly win. And then you have another thing that they do, which we do in Texas quite a bit, called cracking, where you take groups where they could be effective and you pile in all these areas that really not adjacent to them. If you know the state of Texas, there is a district in Austin, because Travis County is so Democratic, they took it and they divided the county in 4 parts right in front of the state house. And there's a district that goes northwest, and it starts in the center of Austin and it ends up in Fort Worth. Now, if you know how far that is, it runs through all these tiny little counties and gathers up all those votes to leverage against the people in Travis County. That's called cracking. That's where they take a large group of voters and crack them. That's the
Yeah.
two ways to gerrymander.
So yeah.
And when I
So
got, there's going to be
right,
many.
go ahead.
There's going to be a lot of states where it's party time. It's starting to work, but they have to fight they don't want people don't want to hear about the logic of it all. But this is because it's so strong and it's an impulse and opportunity, they're going to be successful. And they're going to get them out of this this place sucks. And they're going to be stressed out. It's going to take a lot of work, but they're going to be able to do it. So if you live in a state where there's a program to try and eliminate gerrymandering, either by referendum or however else, we don't have referendums in Texas, but if you live in a state where they can do it that way, go work on it, because it's well worth your time. If you want to make a real change in 2 years, go do that now.
So yeah, I see in my ending is a little bit of patience, but yes, the 10 of Cups and the Knight of Cups.
Yep.
Eventually gerrymandering will be figured out. A little bit of patience, 10 of Cups, Knight of Cups. That's all things good. So I got the rest of it. I'm in the middle of the fight. The energy is moving towards goodness eventually.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like, I think the reason why the universe gave us the Republicans back again this time is because we need our tower moment yet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the universe needs to show everyone that these people are criminals, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not doing anything for the country. So let's say in 2022, Dems kept the Senate, we got Biden, and they keep the House.
Mm-hmm.
It basically will be like the last 4 years of chaos on that side, but the criminality wouldn't be shown, how limited they govern. So by giving the universe, giving the House to the Republicans is better for the public to see their tower moment than if the Democrats won. So that's why I kind of feel like the same thing here. The transition, going through dark times, moon, and the energy.
Mm-hmm.
It's the secret energy moving us forward, but we needed to have that come back then, because even it would still have been close, even while the gerrymandering and everything, you know. And then they were saying you're basically talking 100,000 votes around the country with all the gerrymandering, and the Democrats could have won. With all these seats, there were so many seats that were so close.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's kind of like Trump and Hillary in 16.
It would have been worse. The vote would have been worse. There'd be more Republicans in there if the Republicans hadn't killed off their voters by not acknowledging COVID. There's actually a group that went to these really close counties, and they found out that the number of people who formerly voted Republican who died of COVID was the difference. And so it works both ways, but they're drawing districts for what they thought were there, but millions of people have died.
This is true. A lot of voters have died, passed away.
It gives me a headache when I think about it. But if Michigan's proven that if they can eliminate gerrymandering, they can help a great deal. And eventually you get enough states going in the right direction, and they can start to, we can maybe get a federal government back that's not going to get challenged every 2 seconds, and move forward.
Seems to be the GOP plan. You fight the courts.
Yeah, well,
use the courts.
the biggest one we need to do is something about the Supreme Court, but that's a whole nother show, Scott.
I know, right? It feels like we're gonna be moving in the right direction, and hopefully it's 2024. But the maps aren't too great for the Democratic side. A lot of Republican seats, as far as the Senate goes,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just like even without the deaths, but gerrymandering kept
They kept people in, yeah.
kept the game, but like I was saying with Hillary and Trump, 77,000 votes in 3 states gave us 45. If just that many people changed their votes, or a few more came out, Hillary wins. And it was pretty much the same thing with these 10 to 12 seats that were decided by a slim margin to give the House to the Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
The winds of change are coming. And it feels like there was enough time to wait till 2024 to show.
Mm-hmm.
So we're already at an hour and a half. So
My goodness.
message of love to end the day here. Let's shut her down. Let you get on with your day. Message for the week, whatever we need to know. Is justice coming in, or we need some inspiring for others? Let's see. What do we need to know for the week?
Okay. This is pretty. You need to surrender to the magic of who you are. And it says, we all have magic in us, even in the mundane aspects of life. Remember that you are a magical being with uniqueness and are worth that comes from just being you. So surrender to the magic of who you are.
Well, blessings, Linda Reeves, starting a new job, her new destiny tomorrow. Excellent.
Good.
Okay. So this is kind of a weird reading. So I got a 7, 8, 8. 7 of Cups, 8 of Cups, and 8 of Swords.
Mm.
So it's kind of like what Linda Reeves is doing here, starting anew.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like take your own power and make that decision. It's like no more procrastinating. This is your hopes and dreams. The 7 of Cups is like what's out there in the ethers, and walk away from when it doesn't serve you with the 8 of Cups. Make a more meaningful life, how you want to react, how you want to feel. And then the 8 of Swords is, trying to get away from being locked in, frozen. You have what it takes. You can get out of that.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like that. It is a 7-year, but it feels like that's the mode, It's self-confidence, and it's burning your desires and just taking that leap of faith. When you don't have that confidence, that hinders you. Don't live in fear, live in goals and taking those risks. So making your dreams come true is basically, if you're having problems with a child of yours are being stubborn on something, reach out.
Mm-hmm.
It's the other person's issue if they don't want to accept, but at least you gave it your all, whatever it takes. So that's what that's telling me. But congratulations, Linda.
Yeah, my daughter did that last week. She started a new job last Monday, and she's just been so happy. Same organization, but an increase and a different levels of responsibility, and just finally enjoying it. But she sat in a job. So I hope you're escaping too. And this is a season of change, and you're going to hear me talk about it a little bit more, but I'm going to be doing the 9 candles from the 10th, actually the 10th of March on. I'm going to have 10 nights of 9 candles. It's a long story, but we're going to explain the 9 candles in the first day. But it's because we're coming into such a situation of change. I've always talked about the other influences around us and how we can reach out and learn to accept them. This time, the challenge is to go inside yourself and grow from there. And so it's going to be real interesting.
Beautiful. Thank you, Patricia. Love and light to you. Happy, healthy week. But, excellent for your daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's happened to me. I had cruddy jobs, and I did it because I needed wages, and I am in a good place now as far as my job. Good people. I was in an accident with the snow a few weeks ago, and the only care was, are you okay? You know, we can replace a truck box, but we can't replace you, that kind of care. And, for the work you do is important, that you're respected and you're in a happy place. So yeah, if everyone doesn't know, I was in the middle of a 40-car pileup in a jackknife truck in the middle of a interstate a few weeks ago Thursday, and
that was an ugly looking accident. He sent me pictures. It was not fun.
Yeah, it was like a quarter-mile distance, and there was a jackknife truck in the middle of the road, and I had to avoid it. And a semi ended up clipping me in the back end. So I was lucky to be out of there. You never know.
We're glad to have you here, sweetie pie. And thanks you to everyone who's been in the chat. And I will be doing a show on Tuesday. And apparently I'm going to have to do it about the elf that showed up in the Mexican president's video.
Excellent.
Telling me they're going to show up all over the place. I didn't know they meant that literally.
Yep. Thank you, Tracy. Oh, I forgot to send you pictures, Kathy D. Yeah. It was pretty rough. Not injured. We took care of it. Dealing with the insurance, I had to make my speeches, talk to them. But yeah, it's a good place when you're supported by your supervisors, owners, and everything, and respect for everyone. I haven't probably ever had that since I was in the military. I was respected there pretty well. You have a few upper guys that kind of felt like they were all God, but it wasn't too bad.
Hi, Susan Bang.
Hey, Susan. So anyway, we're going to sign off. Blessings to everyone. Thank you for hanging with us. Bye. Hi, Lorraine. Bye.